This is great. I forgot how good this was.
WWE Tag Team United States Champion, Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, Royal Rumble winner.
Banger after banger after banger.
ECW, June 30th, 2009.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, weighing in at 272 pounds, Sheamus.
I remember myself. I think we got called in that morning to be told that we debut on ECW, and it's live. So there's like no second chances, no chances of the match being edited if something goes wrong. I had like 4 lines of a promo.
Tunas a tátu, Sheamus is an dum, far more rua a will on the heron.
I was like a true bit of Gaelic in there because I studied, I went to 2 all-Irish speaking schools in Dublin. And I knew I was like, oh, I'll throw that in there, like, you know, put a little, you know, my own flavor on it. But the guy I was in there with, Oliver John, was awesome.
Sheamus has what we like to call ring presence.
This Oliver John fella was great. He was so smooth, man. He was awesome in the ring. Yeah, I was nervous, mate. This whole thing is a blur. You think about it, right? You're waiting your whole life to do this, right? You're waiting your whole life to dream is always to be in the WWE, to be a wrestler, WWE wrestler, superstar. And here we are, like, now you're standing in the ring, and it's like, you only get one chance to make a first impression. The one thing I've always done is make sure that everything I do means something. I lay everything in. Ask any of the roster now, it's probably the thing I pride myself on most. Oliver John was, listen, that guy, I still to this day owe him a lot because he was there for everything that night. Like, everything he did was great. The brogue at that stage was a setup for the Irish Curse backbreaker. Obviously now the brogue is, you know, synonymous with Sheamus, the Celtic Warrior, but yeah, man, as soon as that bell rang, I was like, the relief that just washed over me at the end of that match. It's like, no mess ups.
TLC, 2009.
I was on ECW for maybe a couple of months from June, and then all of a sudden I get told that I'm moving over to Raw. So I wrestled Jamie Noble my first match on Raw. Not saying I got cocky, but I felt like I was starting all over again because it quickly hit me that, like, the fans that didn't watch ECW, they weren't aware of ECW. I don't think Twitter was around, really. So most people in the arena didn't know who I was. At that time, I was actually told that, like, this is a kind of make or break match for me because if the second match with Jamie didn't work, there's a chance that, like, I probably wouldn't get another opportunity like this again. So all that stuff definitely messed with me a little bit. But when I went into Jamie the second time, we had a different type of match, and that's where I powerbombed him on the floor. Got me a ton of heat. Everybody was talking about it, how aggressive and brutal. And right after that, then, there was a breakthrough battle royal. And myself and Kofi were fairly new on the Raw roster. It came down to me and him, and I took him out, and then I was off to the races with John, and Kofi was off with Randy. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me. So I went into that match, I just knew I was going to have to be on my A game. I was going to have to bring it, and I did. We beat the crap out of each other. I remember the moment we were both on the top rope, the table was there, and John goes through the table. And it's just like, the whole thing just feels like a dream where, like, the bell's ringing, everybody in the whole arena is stunned, and I have the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in my hands, and I'm like, what the is going on? You grow up watching this, right? You grow up being a huge fan. The pinnacle, the crown jewel of the WWE is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This is the hardest title in the world to win. And here I am, 6 months in, and I'm at the end of it, I'm standing there, John's lying on the ground, I put my foot on his chest, and I hold the WWE title over my head. It's just like literally the biggest prize in wrestling. This is insane.
WrestleMania 26.
I've done the Rumble against Randy. I've done the Elimination Chamber where I lost the title. I'm going in with Triple H. A guy who actually was with my mentor when I first started as well. He took me aside, watched all the matches whenever he was on the shows, and he gave me feedback and tried to make it get better. And He was constantly on me to try and improve, which was fantastic for me because it was fast-tracking me to avoid a lot of mistakes you normally would make. And here we are going into a WrestleMania match, my first WrestleMania 26, Phoenix, Arizona. The biggest thing for me was when I walked out on stage, the noise was deafening. It was so loud, I've said this in a lot of interviews, that I thought my knees were gonna buckle. I thought I was gonna turn to jelly and I was literally gonna like pass out. I was just so focused and just thinking about the match and thinking what I'm gonna do. But looking back on that now, I wish I hadn't had that mindset. I wish I had have like been open to having a few mistakes because it kind of takes you out of being in the moment. And being in the moment is about being aware of everything that's around you, like 80,000 people screaming. And if I could go back and tell myself one thing, it would be like, the hell with that. If you mess up, it don't matter. Just enjoy that moment that you're in there. That was really cool. Like, let's be honest, dude, like my first WrestleMania match was Triple H. Can you imagine how many people backstage were so jealous? I'd already been WWE champion, and here I am, my first Mania with Hunter. Like, it's crazy. And to think this is almost about 15 years ago it's insane.
Extreme Rules 2010.
I'm on a roll. I'm literally on a roll. Like, I'm about to go in with Triple H again for the second time. Again, another guy who's at the top of the game, a legend, already legend status at that stage. I just feel like I'm on cloud nine. I just feel invincible. And going into this was a street fight, and I don't think I'd had any street fights in WWE at the time. So this is another match that was new, was fresh, and the day was kind of hectic because the pay-per-view started. It was me versus Triple H opening the show. And then obviously the camera cuts back and I'm beating the shit out of Triple H. So the thing was, will the match happen or not? And then I went out there and I was like, call the match off, I've won. Triple H ain't gonna make it out. And then of course he comes out. So he's already on the back foot after injuring him. So again, lots of weapons, lots of fun. Those kendo sticks suck, but it was so fun. The match was so fun. It was the best. And it was like, the Mania pressure's off, right? So you're just, you're finishing the story here. And it was just so, one of the funnest matches I've ever had. It was great. My first kind of street fight in there with Triple H. And we just beat the out of each other. It was awesome. I put him out for a while.
WrestleMania 27.
We were taking off Mania. We were like, we had Mania stolen away from us at 27. And we're like, no, that's not right. This is when I realized first, everything is kind of like this, it's like a curve. And I was like, I went here really quickly, but now I'm coming down the curve. But I'm like, I don't want to be coming down the curve. And Brian was a perfect opponent for me because we were both really hungry. We were both willing to do whatever it took to steal the show on live events when there's no cameras there and also on TV. So we were devastated that we missed out on WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta. And you got to think about it, right? I have a main spot with Triple H, right, at 26. And now I've gone from wrestling Daniel Bryan at 27 that gets turned into a pre-show match that gets turned into a battle royal. So like, that just just went nowhere. So it just felt all air had gone. It was probably one of the most disappointing WrestleManias for me. One of the lowest points of my career because here it was last year, here it was this year, and I'm like, I've got no control over it. So me and Brian are going out there to try and do what we can. But you're on the pre-show, the arena's still filling up. So it just, I don't think we ever really got into it. And it was such a blow for both of us. And I remember coming back through the curtain and Cena was there. And I said, watch this, John. Next year, I'll be back. Next year, I promise you. But to me, this is forgettable.
SummerSlam 2011.
Whenever I wrestled Brian, obviously it was like, I was the power, he was the speed. Now I gotta be the speed in this one. But people do not realize how strong Mark is. This is the start of the 10 beats here. That's when I started doing it. I had to bring the fight to Mark. I was hoping that, I could wear him down a little bit, but I knew it was gonna take a lot of punishment. So that was always the thing. But it was definitely weird, man. It was weird in the beginning that people were behind me because people have been just hating on me for such a long time. It was strange, but it was great. I embraced it, I went with it, and it was cool. It was cool to have the crowd chant your name and kids paint their faces with like orange makeup or paint that beard on their face and dye their hair red, for live events. This thing here, by the way, what's that? He hit me so hard on that post. that my actual heel hit the back of my head. So my whole body just like literally wrapped around like a rubber band. And that sucked as well. And I think LA Knight's sitting down there somewhere. He's somewhere there. I know he is. Mark was a great opponent for me. Somebody who's bigger than you, who's stronger than you, who's an opposing threat to you. And Mark was definitely that. I think Mark went on to win the world title after that against Randy. So.
WrestleMania 28.
It was fast. It was a moment, right? It was a WrestleMania moment.
Oh, man! A front kick by Sheamus!
There was a lot of people who were pissed. And actually, if you look at the career, it turned a lot of people against me. But it was what it was. It was a moment that people still talk about to this day. Would we have liked to go out there and have a banger of a match? Absolutely. We know we could do all these things. We know we could tear the place down. But we just weren't in that position to do that. But also gave Brian a lot of sympathy, which ultimately led to him going to WrestleMania 30 and becoming an undisputed heavyweight champion. My two sisters were there, my dad was there. We're in Miami, Florida. It was unbelievable. I think this was their first WrestleMania they came to, and they had an unbelievable time. And it was the first time I got to show my family, like, hey, this is what we do, and they're blown away, like, because the reason I started watching wrestling was because my dad used to work out in the gym in Dublin. I remember he brought back WrestleMania 3 on 2 VHS tapes. And I remember sitting there watching it, and all my mates come in. We must have watched it about 10 times over the 2 or 3 weeks. And, you know, to be able to show him and then see me in the ring at that time, he did say it was a bit quick, wasn't it?
Extreme Rules 2012.
Me and Brian we just knew each other so well as well. It was just like so easy. It was awesome. Like we just absolutely brutalized each other. We shared the same idea where it was like we could bring punishment now and we give it back to each other, and there wouldn't be any issues afterwards. Like it was always like we went out for the match, and we did whatever we could for the match. But we brought it every single time. That run with him really was like, okay, let's go to war. So he basically gave away a fall because he just wanted to hurt me, put me out of commission. Oh, all those kicks, everything was there. It would fire you up. Yeah, people could watch and they could say like nobody could like, there you go, straight in. It's just working the arm over, so I couldn't make it, you know, so I couldn't finish the match. Smart. It was just really, really smart psychology. Smart stuff, great story. Still one of my favorite matches ever.
Hell in a Cell 2012.
People were like saying it was one of the matches on the show that that weren't expecting anything from. But this match just clicked, and we just got everybody in the arena hooked. Everything that could possibly go right went right. You know, we brought a physical side to it. People loved it. It just flowed. I think it's one of Show's favorite matches of his career, which is incredible to say, considering the career that Show had. You know, with him, it was just so easy. He could just like one chop and he can rip your head off. The Brogue, the knockout punch that, you know, we both kicked out of, and then the last thing where he sidestepped me and punched me again. It was great. I remember getting phone calls after this match. I remember actually even being in the locker room afterwards and getting phone calls and texts, and people were just like, that was awesome, that was awesome. To me, this is still one of the matches. People say underrated, but I loved every bit about this match. It was awesome.
TLC 2015.
This is definitely a hard-hitting match. Roman had been handpicked to be the face of the company, and I think he went on a run in the Rumble a couple of years back, and people were all about him. They loved him. He was like spearing everybody. Crowd were well behind him. And then I think a year or two later, he was just like, again, undefeatable Roman, like super Roman. And I remember The Rock came after he won the Rumble. The Rock came out and all that, and they booed him out of the building. Crowd had obviously changed direction. They felt like, oh, this guy's been shoved down our throats, until he met me, who had more heat than anybody in the world, had more heat than the entire Sahara Desert. And I went out there and they absolutely hated me. And for the first time, we turned the crowd in Roman's favor. And we just literally beat the dog crap out of each other. It was great. I think there's a scene here where he just puts me through a whole load of bleeding tables and chairs. I love that stuff, man. I love it, man. It's great, you know what I mean? It's just a total bar brawl, you know. At the end, he didn't win. obviously, which again, just had people still get behind them, you know. But I was there. I knew what Roman was going through, and I was like, you know what? We're going to get them behind you. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure you flip the crowd in your favor. And we did. And people were all about him after this. Still one of my proudest moments. Again, they're hot as hell. It was great. They booed me so much when I took the title. They really wanted to see Roman win. And they definitely said that match is really special to me. And I actually won that one. That was one of the ones I won that I like. Normally I don't like the ones I win, but I like that one.
Clash of Champions 2016.
I felt then I was like in the bad books with the company. So after the Roman stuff, I felt I just went down the pecking order again after everything had done. I thought I elevated Roman to a point where like, and I didn't do it on my own, we did it together. But there was really nothing coming my way as a character. So Cesaro had just come back as well from an injury, and he was hot off the heels in the beginning. But then he was in the same position. We got an opportunity to do a best of 7. Someone pitched it. You know, we started off on a pre-show at SummerSlam, I think it was. We went in there, we killed it. We killed our match. I won the first one. I think he took his shoulder out. And it was a solid match, but there wasn't really that much hype about it. And then we go to Indianapolis, and then we tear the bleeding house down. Everything, anything, we absolutely knocked crap out of each other. So much so that when this whole thing started, people were saying, we don't want to see this match again. We've already seen it. To be like, let them fight, let them fight. People were screaming for the match that ended in a stalemate to keep going, to keep going. They wanted to see it, they want to see it. And then we were off to the races, man. Bro, he brought back, he saved me. It brought me back to life. It brought back my passion. You know, reinvented myself again. I owe that fella so much. But, oh, dude, it was the best outcome you could possibly have. We didn't hold anything back because we knew this was our opportunity to remind people what we could do.
Roadblock, End of the Line 2016.
Foley makes us a tag team. That was a title match we get. But the great thing about it was we still hated each other, right? So it wasn't like, oh, we're now a tag team now, we're buddy-buddy. No. It was great. We leaned so far into that. He'd go up on the corner, they cheer him, I go up, they boo me. We had so much fun. You know, New Day had obviously broken the biggest record in tag team history. So everything was right, man. I think people were ready to see us. I think we're getting a lot of popularity as well as a tag team because of the dynamic between the two of us. One thing I didn't realize, like how close it is, you know, you inherit a brother. And rather than be out for yourself, you're out for the team. Ultimately, it wasn't about me or him or what was better for me or better for him. It was ultimately what was best for us or for the bar. And like that, you know, we ended up wearing kilts, jackets. I ended up wearing the tearaway suit. That was unbelievable.
Clash at the Castle 2022.
Gunther can definitely give it out, you know, but he can also take it. And that was the thing for me as well. I could take it all day and I can give it as well. It's in Wales, right across the river from Dublin, man. We tore it down, we beat the absolute living dog crap out of each other. I'd been around the block a while at that stage. And I just didn't know what to expect. And when I saw the whole crowd just get behind me, it was incredible. Like, the physicality in this match was insane. Like, we didn't hold back. It was awesome, man. Chemistry right away was there. They're off the chart. And I knew when I saw him, I'd seen what he'd done. I knew we were going to kill it. We left it all out there, brother. It was one of the best matches of my career, mate. It was one of the highlights of my career. And then at the end after, of course, like, you know what I mean? When the crowd just gave the flowers. It was awesome. I was buzzing for weeks after.
Extreme Rules 2022.
Pete Dunne and Ridge, you know, they're obviously, I was trying to get them established too. They're under my wing. And it gave us all a great opportunity to showcase what they could do as well. It was definitely something we wanted to do. And Extreme Rules, definitely, especially after the Clash at the Castle thing. It was fun, man. We had such a fun time working those guys. I just wanted to try and get them to the next level. What I learned with Cesaro, it's about the group, it's not about the individual. So, but they're deadly, man. They're great. Love traveling with those guys. The two little brothers. Banger era. Yeah. That was a great night, man. That was a great night for us.
WrestleMania 39.
Probably one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time, man. Let's be honest. Obviously, the IC title was the one thing I'm still chasing, but obviously at that point was where Drew kind of interfered and put himself in the match. But Yeah, again, nothing comes close to the physicality of these matches. Like, it really doesn't. Like, and look, everything is laid in, everything is physical. People see it, you know, and it's like, we literally just beat the crap out of each other. There's always pressure. You always want to go out there and steal the show. I mean, it is what it is. But those are two awesome fellas who I knew would bring it. Just from the crowd reaction itself, I kind of knew. I knew we killed it. I was so happy with that match. That was probably one of my favorite WrestleMania match of all time.
SmackDown, August 18th, 2023.
We were in Toronto, his last deal. He brought the idea to me. I was on board because, like, Edge's one of the first people I spoke to when I was thinking about becoming a wrestler. Something happened to me in there where my neck got messed up, which obviously led to me being out for a long time. So during this whole process here, I'm kind of going through a lot of pain, but still one of my favorite moments, man. This was awesome. Like, the Toronto crowd were crazy. It was fun. It was great, and to see him go out, you know, be his last opponent here in WWE after an incredible 25-year career. Like, I'm going on my 15th. He's another 10 on top of that. So that'll tell you, you know. But yeah, it was awesome. Great. I loved every minute of it.
Fella! Slasher! Slasher, fella! Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
We're glad you're back.
Sometimes when I look at that stuff, I feel like I'm looking at someone else's life. Because sometimes it feels like it happened like 20 years ago, and other times it feels like it only happened last year. If you told me when I first started I'd be sitting here talking about a 15-year career, I'd probably say that's awesome. That's job done, you know, 15 years on the main roster. But I'm stubborn, you know, and I still feel like every time I go out there, I've got a lot to prove. I can't go out there and not give my heart and soul for what I do. I've had this career because I've left it all out there. I just think that, for me, I love this. I love stepping out there. I get nervous every single time I go out there, even after 15 years, because it means so much to me. I've dedicated my life to this. I've left my family at home because of this. Was it worth it? Absolutely. I've loved every minute I've had in the ring, and every minute more I will have in the ring. But guess what? I still have a lot left of me. And I'll still go out there and put my heart and soul into every single second I have in that ring, because that's what I do. See you at year 30.